Hello there. So today I'm going to be walking you through using the network policy editor, a tool that makes working with network policies in Kubernetes hassle-free. Network policies are an important part of securing Kubernetes clusters. They provide a way for us to control how traffic flows in and out of our clusters. Writing network policies in Kubernetes can sometimes get tricky. There are some subtleties in the behavior of network policies, and even for experienced users, it takes a while for you to wrap your head around. This is specifically why the network policy editor was designed. The network policy editor was created to ease the cognitive overhead of working with network policies and make the entire process of writing network policies and working with network policies in Kubernetes very hassle-free. To use the network policy editor, visit the URL editor.networkpolicy.io. The very first thing the network policy editor offers is a way for us to create network policies in a very interactive way. So as opposed to us manually wrangling with the YAML files, we've got this very nice visual way of us to specify what we want our network policy to be doing. So for example, we want a network policy to apply to our front-end ports. For example, we can simply just go click on the respective buttons on the UI, and we can fill in the values we want. For example, here we want a network policy called the front-end policy that's applied in the default namespace, and we want to select based on the labels app equals to full. So with this, you can also see, for example, we have values here where we can, if we click on this, you can see the respective policies on this other side of the screen are applied, and we can see basically a guided way for us to create network policies. One of the other features the network policy editor offers is a way for us to visualize policy. So right now, if you look at the upper pane of the network policy editor, we can actually see a visual representation of all the network policies available in our cluster, right? So we can see this part represents ingress traffic to our cluster, so the part represent egress traffic away from our cluster. And remember, since network policies are namespaced, we have the namespace where these network policies are applied to. This gives us a very clear visual representation of everything that's happening in our cluster from a network policy point of view. And this also makes it easy for us to spot errors and debug network policies. So if you have an existing network policy you've written by hand, you can upload that network policy to the network policy editor. So there are several reasons you would want to do something like this. For example, you might want to validate the network policy you've written by hand for correctness. You might just want to extend it using the network policy editor and just continue writing it with the network policy editor. So that's where this comes into play. So to upload an existing network policy to the network policy editor, there's a button here that says upload. You can click on this, choose the network policy you want to upload, and you can see this is actually brought into the network policy editor. You can also download the network policy you've worked with down for you to use in your Kubernetes cluster. So by simply clicking on the download button, you have this network policy downloaded locally. You can also share a network policy written by hand to, say, for example, a team member, right? So by clicking on the share button, this gives us the ability for us to share a network policy we've written. So click on the share button, go through the GitHub authorization flow, and you have a link that links to the network policy you've written. So you can share this with team members, or for example, share a network policy you've written on the internet. The network policy editor also gives us a security score of a network policy we've written, so we can actually see how this network policy performs from a security point of view. So if you click on the policy rating, you would actually see a set of criteria which a network policy is evaluated for on a 5-scale basis, right? So you can actually see that if this network policy is secure enough. Another cool feature that the network policy editor offers is a way for us to create network policies from Hubble flow logs. So to use this feature, you can simply click on the upload flow tab, right? Click on upload flows, and you would export like the JSON flow logs from your Hubble, and then put this in a network policy editor, and this will generate like a network policy based on the Hubble flow logs. So one way like this could be very useful is like, for example, you have like a large cluster and you're currently using Hubble for observability. You can actually take like the flow logs from Hubble and use this to like put it in network policy editor and generate some sort of like default baseline network policies that you can then take this and extend it or modify it to suit like your specific use case. And lastly, another feature the network policy editor offers is a tutorial for working through network policies. So the tutorial is covering all the subtleties associated with working with network policies in Cilium and in Kubernetes. So for example, if you look at this on the right side of the pane, you can actually see a drop down. When you click on the main tutorial, you can see, for example, the tutorial that says allow cross namespace traffic, and if you click on this would actually give you like a very guided tutorial, a detailed guided tutorial about allowing cross namespace traffic. If you see, for example, allowing egress to the Kubernetes DNS, you can actually see a guided tutorial that talks about like how you should allow like traffic to kube DNS.